Hi guys, welcome to Flip the Deck Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is going to be really fun. We're going to find out what you don't see about yourself. So we'll find out all of your beautiful qualities, maybe some areas of improvement, just things that really escape you when it comes to seeing yourself for who you truly are. These are likely qualities and characteristics that those closest to you are aware of, and you might not be yourself. So I have 4 readings for you to choose from today. For reading number 1, we have this purple pony. For reading number 2, we have the green pony. These are really hard to hold on to, so I apologize. For reading number 3, we have the pink pony. And for reading number 4, we have the blue pony. So take as much time as you need to make your selections. If you feel drawn to more than one of these, that's perfectly fine. There might be messages or little pieces of your personality and your characteristics that are picked up in one of these other readings. So you might feel that you are drawn to more than one. So I will leave your timestamps in the description box down below. And I'm going to jump in with reading number 1, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, number 1, if you picked the purple pony, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out what you don't see about yourself. So we're going to begin the reading with some animal spirit oracle cards, and they're going to kind of point out some characteristics of yourself that you might not recognize. So let's see what cards you have. You have the scorpion, the nightingale, and the cobra. Just to start out, let me say that it is likely that you are extremely beautiful and attractive. So you might find that people are drawn to you based on your looks a lot of the time. They are initially drawn to you because of your physical attractiveness, but I think that people are always surprised to find that there's a lot more depth to you. There's a lot more than just a beautiful face or beauty on the surface. I think there's a part of you that really wants to express yourself and that loves to communicate and to share ideas. But we do also here see this side of you that wants to know that you're in a safe place, wants to know that you're in good company before you fully open up and express yourself. So there is kind of this desire for you to be around maybe familiar people, maybe people who you know you can trust. I'm kind of getting that that sense that it might not be that easy for you to trust people, but there is at the same time this desire for you to really open up. So kind of interesting energy there, a little bit of opposing energy, and that might be something that you struggle with, and maybe you don't even know exactly why. Like maybe you don't know why in some cases you don't feel like you can comfortably open up. You have all these things to say and all of this stuff to express, but you might not feel like you can open up sometimes. So really, I think if that happens to you, it's like look around, like see who you're around, and it could just be that it's someone you don't know very well, or it could be someone that you have some experience with and you don't fully trust them. So I think you do have this very expressive part of yourself, but you have to have that trust before you can express. I think that a lot of you might be gifted when it comes to like the musical arts here. I'm seeing a lot of that for you with this nightingale. You might have a beautiful singing voice. Or it could be like a musical instrument that you play, something like that. And it doesn't actually have to be music. I mean, it could extend to poetry and writing. It's about some form of expression, but it feels like whatever this expression is, you're very, very protective of it. This nightingale is right here in the middle of a scorpion and a cobra. So it's like, try to get to the nightingale. I dare you. Like if these two were surrounding this little bird and were protecting it, there's not a chance. So I feel like this might be something that you don't feel that comfortable sharing with others. It could be something that you keep really protected. You might be the type of person that only sings in the shower when nobody else is home. That kind of energy. It doesn't have to be singing, but very well could be with this energy. it could be something like that, but it feels like you're very protective of your creative expression, and you might find that you're a little bit shy or a little bit embarrassed when it comes to sharing this gift. But yeah, definitely realizing how beautiful like your singing voice is, or how talented you are, is really important, because we're looking at things that you don't recognize about yourself. So I feel like this is the kind of thing that people tell you. Like if they hear you singing, for example, like again, you don't have to be a singer, but like if they hear you singing, they're like, whoa, you have a beautiful voice. That was amazing. And you're like, no, it was nothing. And you're not like doing it. It's not like false, like a, what am I trying to say? It's not like you're being like fake, like a false humble attitude. It's real. It's like you don't really believe it. So you are extremely gifted and talented, especially when it comes to some sort of creative expression. Because of this Nightingale energy, it can have a lot to do with music. It can have a lot to do with writing, maybe speaking. Like you might be someone who's really great at getting up in front of a crowd of people and giving a speech, but like before you do it, you feel like you're going to absolutely pass out and like sweat to death and and just like drop dead, because you don't want to do it so badly. And then after you've done it, people will say, oh, you did so great. Like maybe you have a presentation in school or something like that. It's like, oh, you did such an amazing job. And you're like, no, I didn't. I was like sweating and I felt like I was in a bubble, and like I couldn't even make sense of the words that were coming out of my mouth. But it's like, because you feel maybe those nerves, you don't recognize that you're actually really good at some of this stuff. Again, this can be like all forms of expression. So yeah, you're really gifted when it comes to some form of expression. And you're I feel like there's like some worry associated with it. Like sometimes you think like you might not be good enough, or you might not be talented enough. Like whatever you have to offer might not be up to par. It feels like, in some way, it feels like you communicate and express these deeper parts of yourself, and you're really gifted at doing that. Like you're really gifted at expressing, like maybe putting into words the emotions that other people are feeling, or putting that into music. Maybe just relating to people when you're having a one-on-one conversation with them. You're really good at doing that, but it's like you don't give yourself enough credit for it. And you really do have this natural gift of being expressive, and of being able to like put a label on some of those emotions that are hard for people to access, and hard for people to put into words, access them, and then put them into a verbal form. And then I feel like you also put them into some sort of digestible form for people, to make it easier for people to understand. So there's something like you communicate ideas in a way that people can absorb them when they might not have been able to under different circumstances. But for some reason, the way you say it, or the way you sing it, or whatever it might be, the way you paint it, they can understand it. So you have a lot of fire energy here. You may be in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius with the Scorpion and Cobra, but we also do have air present. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You don't have to be these signs, but I feel like these are your main gifts that you're not recognizing. So there's some kind of like passion in you, something fiery and passionate that you're really good at, and you don't recognize how great you are. And then there's also like some form of communication that you're really good at. You definitely have this passion, and not only that, you have your own ideas about things. You have your own mind. So you're not someone who's easily swayed by the opinions of others. You like to figure things out for yourself. You like to see things for yourself, and you like to experience them firsthand. And kind of like inform your own opinions. Like you like to you like to be informed for yourself, and like make up your mind based on what you witnessed and what you saw and what you experienced. You're not someone who can just like hear it from someone else and then accept it as truth. You really want that firsthand knowledge. So this is something really, really special about you, and something that people admire in you, because some people can't form their own opinions about anything because they really just kind of want to go with the flow, go with the crowd, and you're not afraid to have your own opinions. It's really important to you that your personal passion is expressed and that your personal experience shines through everything that you do, and that's probably why it's important for you to gain that knowledge firsthand, because it's going to come through in whatever kind of expression you do. It's going to come through, and you want it to be authentic. I think in a lot of ways you don't see that you're able to actually give others a voice. So whether that's in your chosen profession, maybe you work in a field where you're able to stand up for those that wouldn't otherwise have a voice, or maybe just living your passion and living your truth is what really tends to inspire the people that are around you to do the same thing. That could be what it is, but yeah, it's like you give other people the freedom and sometimes I think the idea to kind of do their own thing, to have their own experience, to form their own opinions, and you really hold space for people to do that. It's like it's safe to do that around you. You are someone who is really, really protective of those that you love, and this is the things that you love and the people that you love, because like I was saying, we have this Scorpion and this Cobra energy kind of surrounding everything that you hold dear. So it really makes me feel like you're not the type of person that's afraid to stand up for people that you care about, and to stand up for things that you believe in, and to speak out on things that you believe in. It's not like you like to fight, but I will say you're someone who will definitely go to battle if it's necessary. You sort of surround everybody that's close to you with this really protective energy. I feel like the Scorpion and the Cobra are like key parts of your personality, because you really are so protective, and both of these animals are like, I see them as someone who will strike. Like if need be, will strike. If it's to protect you or the ones you love, you will definitely go to war. And it's actually really beautiful, because those who are close to you know that they can always depend on you to be there for them, to stand up for them, to speak out about something that's being done that's unfair. Even if they don't have the courage to do it, you will stand up for them. The Scorpion can talk a lot about overcoming pain and growing emotionally. So you likely have had to do a lot of growth in your life and face a lot of tough, maybe painful moments in your life, but you're definitely someone who will overcome. This Nightingale energy is the type of energy that can tap into that pain and that hurt and those emotional wounds and find a way to express them that's constructive. So it's definitely a strength that you have. Maybe you kind of pour in some of your life experience into whatever kind of work you do, into the art that you make, or into the poetry that you write, or the songs that you sing. And that's what makes people be able to connect with everything that you do, because there's a real personal touch on it. There's a real personal spin, and there's something that's very relatable about it. Like I was saying, you can put things into words or into some digestible form that makes it easy for people to access. So sometimes you're even able to help them tap into an emotion that they didn't know they had, or tap into a feeling that they had forgotten or that they had tried to forget. And you help them to kind of heal from that by putting it in a way that they can understand, in a way that they can process it, they can digest it. I think that with you, there's a feeling that you're the type of person who appreciates quality over quantity when it comes to your friendships and your connections. Um, you can tend to be a little isolated at times, probably because you're deeply contemplative and a very passionate person. It's like you take the time to fully explore your inner world. But on the flip side of that, there can be a tendency towards like this sort of isolated energy or this defensive energy. So it's something to watch out for, because like I was saying, the scorpion and this cobra, they will strike. And sometimes, I guess sometimes that can happen in situations where it's unwarranted, because it can be kind of threatening when people get close to you or encroach on your personal space or your personal time. So that is maybe a part of your personality, maybe even something you don't see. Like maybe sometimes you do snap on people and you don't really realize why, or that you even did that. But I think there's just this part of you that wants to protect everything and really protect yourself and protect your heart a lot of the time. This can really be about asking yourself, when are the boundaries that I'm establishing good and healthy boundaries? And when are they the kind of boundaries that could cause maybe too much isolation or too much protection? Because I do think that it is important for you to stay protected, to stay in that comfortable energy, and to have these valuable close connections as your main source of interaction, because you're not someone that just wants to like go out and talk to everyone and connect with everyone and share everything with everyone. But at the same time, like sometimes letting people into that inner protective space is really healing and therapeutic, and you don't have to go through so many things alone. Maybe you can lean on the strength of other people. Sometimes those people that you've shown that loyalty to, maybe they can show up for you too. That being alone too much can cause you to get in your head a little bit too much, I think. And that can be a source of stress and anxiety. So that's just something to keep in mind. Let's look at your tarot cards and see, well, actually, this is just some of your tarot cards, but we'll see what other messages we have. So we have, ooh, the Lovers. Beautiful. We have the Knight of Coins and the Six of Wands. I've been loving the Six of Wands lately. It's been showing up in a lot of readings, and I love the energy of achievement and accomplishment. I really like that. So with this Lovers card, you definitely keep those who are near and dear to your heart really close and protected, like we were talking about. You like to form deep connections with people, whether it's friends or family members or romantic connections. You like for the connections to feel real. You like to really get to know a person rather than having a lot of surface level, shallow relationships. And you're also really great in a romantic partnership. So you are fiercely loyal. You're really caring when it comes to your partner. You're diligent about listening to your partner, and you are the type of person who will anticipate the needs of the person that you're with. So you really try to find out what's special to them, what they need, what they want in the relationship, and give that to them without them even asking. And I think there's a part of you that can really tap into somebody on a deep emotional level, and use that great communication of yours to make sure that there's always a healthy flow of ideas between the two of you. So I think you are a person who is absolutely fabulous in romantic partnership. You're the type of person that people would be lucky to be with, because you are so loving and caring and generous. This can also be an indication that you like to work in small groups, and you like one-on-one type of conversations or interactions. So you might be the sort of person that would prefer to work independently or like with one other person. Like if you have to do a project like at school or work or something, it's like you don't want to work with a whole crowd of people. It's a little bit too much. And you can really connect deeply with somebody when you have the opportunity to have like a nice one-on-one conversation. But in really hectic social situations, it can be really hard, like just much harder for you to form that deep connection. In general, yeah, in general, one-on-one basis is, I think it's better for you. I think what helps you to connect with people so deeply is that you can be really detail oriented. So it's like you don't miss a thing and you notice all the little things about someone's personality, all about their particular quirks and like what they like and what they dislike. And you're willing to really put in the work when it comes to your personal relationships, which I can understand why it's like it's more important for you to have a few really good relationships than a bunch. Because if you're really looking to like really care for people and really get to know someone, it's hard to do that with a lot of people, you know, especially when you don't always get that in return. So yeah, I think it is important for you to just focus on your close, deep relationships, those close bonds that you form. You just feel more comfortable in that space and you can really give people the attention and the love and the nourishment that you want to. Like you can really connect with them. You're definitely somebody who will put in a lot of work to realize your goals. You might be a person who knows the value of hard work because you haven't just had things handed to you. I think sometimes you can feel like you're not moving fast enough in life with this Knight of Coins energy. This is the slowest moving knight, but everything that he does is quality. Like that's something to really remember here. So everything that you do is quality. You're really paying attention to the details. You're being meticulous about just everything. Like if you put your stamp on it, it's good. And it might not be fast and flashy all the time, but it's definitely stable and it's something that you can count on. So you definitely know the value of hard work. I'm seeing that you are achieving so much and you're really doing things the right way. You're doing things the quality way. And you're the type of person that will lay that solid foundation and then build upon it. So you're definitely taking the right steps here. And this is something you might not see, especially if you're having that feeling of like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. I should be here by now. I should have achieved that goal by now. You are doing things in a way that's going to produce lasting results for you. It's not like a flash in the pan type of thing. Lasting results is what's on your mind. What I want to say is, even if your success or the way that you view success takes a little bit longer than you wish or than you hoped it would, I'm seeing a lot of success for you. I'm seeing that this really methodical nature of yours and the way that you're so deeply connected to everything that you do, it's going to lead you to a lot of success. That's the victory that I'm seeing here with the Six of Wands. It's leading you to a lot of success. So that might escape you. Sometimes you might feel like things are moving so slowly, but really you're making leaps and bounds here. And I think that those closest to you will see that. They will try to reinforce that in you because you can be so hard on yourself sometimes, but you really are making a lot of progress. So now I want to look at your past self so we can kind of see where you're coming from, and then your future self, where you're going. I was going to take one card for each of these categories, but you got two. So let's see what you got. For your past self, you have the Hermit, and you have the Moon. Ooh, okay, what a combo. This is kind of that like isolated energy that we were talking about. You're definitely a self-reflective type of person. You can kind of go into hermit mode a little bit. Strong Virgo energy here, Pisces energy also coming through here. You can go into like a little bit of hermit mode sometimes, thinking about things, contemplating things, thinking things through. Again, that sort of methodical nature here coming through with the Knight of Coins. So earth energy in general is actually really presenting itself in your reading now. So you could be an earth sign other than a Virgo. You could be a Taurus or a Capricorn. But yeah, there is kind of this tendency to go within. It's about deep exploration. It's about self-contemplation. And this is a really reflective energy. So you're the type of person that can spend a good amount of time reflecting, getting to know yourself on every level, which is beautiful. I think that really contributes to whatever kind of art form or the way you express yourself. It's because you know yourself so well. I feel like some of you could have come from some dark times here. But what I see is that any challenges or struggles that you faced have just, what I want to say is like, they've made your song more beautiful. They've made your song more complex. They've kind of added to this melody that you're singing, whether you're actually into the musical arts or not. It's like the story that you tell or the energy that you exude. It really kind of adds to that. So this feels like kind of the energy of breaking free and coming out into the light and being able to express your truth and express your story. A lot of that contemplative time that you spent is really helping you to see the value in your story and the value in your experiences. And it's helping you to notice what you have to offer. So this is kind of past energy. This could be the energy of feeling more isolated, feeling more to yourself. That might be where you're coming from. A lot of contemplation. Okay, let's look at your future self energy. That's being represented by the Fool. That's actually so perfect because this is really fun. I feel like your energy can get kind of heavy sometimes, and like you can spend a lot of time trying to make things right, trying to understand. You're just such a hard worker. Like you're just so diligent about everything that you do, and you'll just explore like every angle of something. The Fool energy is more carefree. It's more like ready to get out there and explore. So some of this could be about like not socializing so much, which we all know what's been going on in the world, so maybe that has a lot to do with this isolated energy. But the Fool is ready to step out there, to throw caution to the wind, and to have some new experiences. It's the energy of like taking that dive, taking that leap, and exploring some really exciting stuff. I think that the inner contemplation like phase that you went through or that you're wrapping up right now it's really been good for you. Like it's been a place where you can really get in touch with yourself, and now you're able to use that deep connection that you've had with yourself to branch out and explore. So let's look at your last two oracle cards. I didn't really define this part of the reading, so it could be advice. It could be just something that wants to be brought to your attention. So let's see. We have don't dim to fit in. Oh, how are you dimming your light to fit in? So yeah, I think this is really important for you, like we were talking about this protective energy that kind of surrounds your heart space. It surrounds everything that you hold near and dear to you. But in protecting that, sometimes you're just not letting your light shine. So maybe there's something you need to express and something you need to let out. Don't worry about the fact that others might not like it, they might not accept it, they might not understand it, because there's a whole bunch of people who will. And like I said, you have a way of making people feel things very deeply. So a lot of people are going to connect to you. And this also can be about that fear of like not being good enough. Like maybe you're not the best singer or the best writer or whatever, and you let this get in your head and stop you from expressing. This is about not doing that anymore. This is about coming out of this hermit energy and really letting your light shine. You also have trust the niggle. Oh, this is about that little urge. You know, it says, what is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So it's about that little urge. And I think that this is like that Fool energy. This is you branching out and stepping into something new, which is really, really exciting, you guys. I think you're just like I can pick up on your energy. It's so beautiful. And I think that there's something that you have to offer. Like you're so talented and there's something kind of nudging at you, but there's always these feelings of inadequacy that accompany it. And you've done all of the contemplation and you've done all the work. And now it's time for you to really branch out and to let go of some of that protective energy that's surrounding this gift that you have to offer, and just let it out into the world. Let other people experience it more and grow from it, because I think you provide a lot of growth and a lot of insight for everyone around you. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. That's all the messages I see for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you liked this video, if any of these messages resonated with you, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And I will hopefully see you again in another reading really soon. Bye. Hi, number 2. If you picked the green pony, this is going to be your reading, and we're going to find out what parts of you do you not see? Like what parts of your personality are you not recognizing? These can be things that other people around you are really aware of, but things that you just don't see in yourself. We might also find some of your areas where you could improve, like some areas where you don't see how you might be getting in your own way. So we'll see what came out for you. We're going to start your reading with 3 animal spirit cards and kind of get an idea of some of these aspects of your personality that you don't see. And I think for the most part, it's like gifts that you don't recognize in yourself. So let's see. We have the turtle, the wolf, ooh, and the lizard. There's like a real fierce kind of energy that came through with that wolf. So I think there's like a really determined nature about you, a really strong part of your personality that you probably don't give yourself enough credit for. Like there may be a lot of things that you've overcome in your life, and there's like a determinedness. It's like you have your eye on the prize and you know the direction that you're going. I think this is something other people admire in you, but something that like you might not recognize in yourself because you're in it. You just see yourself doing what you have to do or just getting by day to day, but you don't really like zoom out and look at the bigger picture and see how determined you've been and how much of this kind of determined energy you have exuded. So this is something you don't see in yourself, and even if you recognize it, you don't give yourself nearly as much credit for the strength and the determined nature that you have exhibited. What really jumps out after that intense stare of the wolf is really like how adaptable you are. You're probably someone, like I was saying with the wolf, that's faced a lot of challenges. So that's probably why that determined energy came through so strong. You could have been a person who's had to play a lot of different roles. And it kind of feels like no matter what curveball life tries to throw at you, you always find a way to keep moving, to keep pushing forward, and to keep adapting. It's kind of like how this turtle can be at ease on land or in water. That's kind of how I think you come across, is someone who has that balanced nature and can really succeed in any situation. And I think that this is something, like if I think about that, that's actually really hard to recognize in yourself, because when you're the one dealing with like the curveballs that life is throwing, what you see is obstacle after obstacle. And sometimes I think you can feel like, why does this keep happening to me? Why do things keep going wrong? Why do I have to keep adjusting? Why is this so hard sometimes? And you're not necessarily realizing that, yeah, although it sucks and these things have happened, you've been able to persevere through all of that. You've been able to kind of adapt and like do whatever you needed to do to make it through that situation. Like I'm seeing it almost like you wear whatever suit you need to wear that's going to be appropriate for that scenario. So like a fireman puts on like all of his gear that's going to be resistant to fire, and it's going to like protect his or her skin from getting burned. It's kind of the same thing. It's like, well, if the flames rose up, which is funny because it's like, that's how I see this wolf card, is like there's flames all behind this wolf. It's like if the flames rose up, that's horrible, and it made it a lot harder, but you just like put on all of your gear and kept going. And that's something you don't recognize in yourself. Other people see it, but to you, it's like, I think you mainly see the part where the challenge appeared, and you're not giving yourself credit for being able to deal with the challenge. So definitely an adaptive energy coming through here. There's also a fair amount of earth energy present, even though the turtle is technically water energy, because it's both a land and water creature. It does give me like earth energy, and then the wolf is earth energy. This could be an indication that you are an earth sign or have strong earth placement. So you could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But in general, I think this is the energy of like just being very grounded. So you're exhibiting a lot of earth qualities. You're very grounded. You're very dependable. There's also, of course, water energy present with this turtle. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio could be this could be your sign, or it could be significant. And then of course we have fire energy with the lizard, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So we're really all across the board here, but what I think that is really indicating is there is kind of a balanced nature coming from you. You're giving a lot here. You're giving we're not seeing a lot of air right now, but there's just such a balance to your personality. You have a lot to offer, and you might not realize that about yourself, that you have a lot to offer. You have a lot of skills, a lot of natural giftings, and you have this adaptive quality that even if something comes your way that you didn't feel prepared for, you will find your way through it. I also have to say that there's something instinctual about you, and that might be what helps you to adapt. I think that you know how to trust your instincts. You may have a strongly developed sense of intuition. I feel like sometimes you don't know how you know a particular thing or why you feel a particular way, but you're someone who definitely gets intuitive hits about things. And more than that, you actually follow your guidance when it comes to these intuitive hits. I think you do this so naturally that you don't necessarily realize that you're doing it, but you are really instinctual. You kind of feel your way through things, and I think that's what makes you be able to change and adapt to the circumstances so easily. You might be in a phase where you need to learn to trust that instinct a little bit more, because your instincts are never wrong. And I think the more experience you have with this, the more you're going to notice that. Like, you'll just notice times when you have used this instinctual nature and it works out. You're really tapped in, and you're not usually wrong. I think you're also really good at like advising people because of this, but that's kind of a side note. But I feel like you kind of just get an intuitive message about certain things, and like your advice is always really solid. I think that what's really interesting as I'm looking at this energy, it's like you're a blend of both extroverted energy and introverted energy. So this wolf energy is really all about the pack. It's about the family. It's really the energy of like embracing everyone. So you have that kind of warmth to your personality, and you have a very inviting aura about you. You always want people to feel included and to feel safe and to feel taken care of. And actually in social situations, I think you can be a lot of fun. You have kind of like a playful nature about you, so you can be a lot of fun. and you're really protective of everyone around you with that wolf energy coming through. But on the flip side of all of that, it's like you do like your alone time. You can be a lone wolf sometimes. You can be about the pack and you can be the lone wolf. You actually can find that crowds are draining to you. And it might take some of you a little while to figure this out, because there is this part of you that kind of thrives in group settings. Like you might kind of feel alive, or you might find that you're more social than you expected to be. I actually think that, like, for a lot of you, you feel like you were awkward in social situations. You, like, when you replay it, you're like, oh, I made a fool of myself when I said this, or when I did that, or I laughed too loud, or whatever. But like, those around you do not see any of that. They see someone who feels at ease and who feels really comfortable and who's like a lot of fun to be around. Even if this is just with your close group of friends, you're a lot of fun to be around. But when all of that's said and done, it's like you kind of want to crawl back into your shell a little bit. You kind of want to retreat and recharge a little bit. So you really do have these two opposite sides to your personality. One may be a little stronger than the other. Like you may feel like you are more an introvert than an extrovert, or vice versa, but you really have the ability to thrive in either situation, which, you know, some people are very strongly one or the other. And I feel like you have this beautiful blend. You are definitely someone who picks up on subtle energies, though, which is what really makes you a great friend and a great protector, because you can really like sense how people are feeling and what they need in any given moment. But it can also be really draining to you when you're around a lot of different people, or when you're in a social group. So there's a lot of, like, when there's a lot of energy circulating around you, it's like hard for you to decipher. It's hard for you to differentiate whose energy is whose. And like, you're very likely an empath. And you may have other psychic giftings as well. So I think for you, protecting your energy is really important. Like maybe putting up a shield of white light before you go into a social situation, like putting yourself in kind of a bubble of protective energy, could help you maintain more of your energy and not be quite as susceptible to the energies around you. That might be something that you want to look into doing, because I do feel like you pick up on a lot of energy, and this could actually like help you in those social situations, because some of why you feel drained is because you are so tapped into everyone else's energy and you can really feel it on a deep level. So if you were able to kind of curb that a little bit, then you might not feel quite as drained, or like you need to recharge so much after social interactions. This turtle energy again is giving me that feeling of like perseverance, and I think that's been coming through pretty strong. So yeah, I can see that you persevere through any difficulties that you face. But it's also really important to say that it's crucial for you to not give up if it seems like things are really difficult to overcome. So the turtle, it's like you need to remember that the turtle can overcome anything with perseverance. The reason I say this is because with this turtle energy, although it really is the feeling of like, just keep going, just keep pushing, keep trucking along, and that's what you do. You always rise to the occasion. But I feel like sometimes it becomes overwhelming. Sometimes you ask yourself, like, how many more times do I have to go through this type of scenario before I can just easily breeze through things? So this turtle energy can have the tendency to come to a stop sometimes. Like, yes, turtles move slow, but they don't stop moving. So resisting the urge to come to a stop, and this could be an area that you found yourself in before, where it just feels like you just want to give up, you just want to like go into your shell and stop trying. This is really just a message of like, don't stop trying, because you're doing a beautiful job at this. And this is the kind of stuff that other people recognize and you might not recognize, because again, it's like, it's really easy to see the challenges and not see how well you are handling the challenges. So let's look at your tarot cards. We have the King of Swords. Wow. I really feel like there's a powerful energy coming through for you. The Wolf card really kind of like hit differently this time. Like there's something so fierce and powerful about this wolf card. And then with the king. And so, okay, we have the 7 of coins and the justice card. So the 7 of coins is really, it's really repeating this turtle energy for me. Yeah, this is kind of, the 7 of coins is all about putting in the time and putting the energy toward your long-term goals and really sticking with it and persevering. You're not the type of person that looks for quick wins. Of course, you know, you would take any quick win or any like relief of struggle or good luck that comes your way, but you're not afraid of the hard work and you're not afraid of staying the course. And that's kind of the turtle energy that we were talking about. I think it's really an indication that you are kind of hard on yourself and you can have a hard time seeing all of your accomplishments because if you look like at the 7 of coins in traditional tarot, it's like someone who is about to reap their harvest, but they're kind of looking at their harvest like, is it good enough? Now that card can be read in many different ways, but sometimes it is interpreted as not being happy with what has grown, like not being happy with the work that you've done and kind of looking at it in a disappointed way and looking at it as something that's not providing you with everything that you want. So this is kind of like, this is a reminder to really look at your harvest, really look at what you've sown and what you've reaped, and give yourself the credit for what you have been able to do. Sometimes the 7 of coins can be an invitation to kind of step back and look at everything that you've created, to take a good look at what you've achieved. Also about reevaluating where you put your time and your energy. So it's about finding those areas that are draining your energy, those energy sapper kind of things. Those can be people or commitments in life, and really evaluating that, because sometimes that's where it's going. But I think in your case, it's like you just don't give yourself enough credit for everything you've been able to accomplish and everything you have been able to overcome. It's sort of like, just because you might have been in this turtle energy and things might have moved slower than you wanted, it doesn't mean you haven't gone a heck of a long distance. Like if you were able to kind of get a bird's eye view and see how far you've traveled, you'd be shocked. But it's almost like it feels like because it could happen kind of slow, that you forget like what an accomplishment it is. I think that because you're such a giving person and because you want everyone to feel well taken care of, you can sometimes give a little too much of yourself. So this is really just like, it's another reminder that you need to evaluate and make sure that you retain your energy so that you have the fuel to put that energy back in towards the goals that you're working on. With this King of Swords energy, and with the wolf energy, I really do get that feeling like you're natural born leaders in this group here. And I feel like for some of you, this isn't a role that you necessarily picked, but because of your intelligence and because of your determination and also because of that like stability that you offer, you will often find yourself in leadership positions. Like you'll find yourself in the position where people want to listen to what you have to say and people want to follow your lead. The great news with that is you're really, really smart and you are a great communicator. I was kind of looking for the swords energy because you were exhibiting like all the elements, and I knew that there was a very balanced energy there. And then we got the King of Swords, so like total mastery over this communication. So like, yeah, actually that is present for you. And even the Justice card, like with the sword in the Justice card, is like another indication of this communication. So it's like you have so much to offer. you're great at communicating, you're really smart, and you're innovative. So you have the ability to lead. You have everything that it takes. You're the type of person that people come to for advice. And again, when you're taking on other people's problems, when you're listening to them, when you're hearing them out, when you're advising them on certain issues, it's really important that you keep your energy protected, and you separate their energy from yours so that you're not actually energetically taking on the weight of their problems, because I think this can get you down a lot. But you are someone who people want to hear from, and you're really good at recognizing the truth and taking an objective view. So yeah, you give great advice, so that people are always going to be seeking you out for that. People are always going to be wanting to follow your lead, wanting to follow your advice, and wanting to learn from your wisdom. So it almost feels like you can't escape this leadership role. And the only thing I would say is just make sure your energy is protected, because you do pick up on the energies of other people. Even when you don't realize that that's happened, you do pick up on it. Let's look at your next two tarot cards. So I pulled one card to represent your past self, so we'll see kind of like where you're coming from, and then another card to represent your future self. So for your past self, we have the Six of Swords, more swords energy, another indication of this like really great communication. And for your future self, we have the High Priestess. Whoa. Yeah, definitely a born leader. There's something really special about you. So with this Six of Swords energy, the Six of Swords is all about moving from difficult times into times of more ease. So we're talking about your adaptability here, and we're talking about some of the challenges that you may have faced in your life and how you've overcome them. You have just moved on in scenarios that a lot of people would have gotten stuck in. You've been able to move on, move to the next thing, move to maybe a new area where there's more ease. This could actually be about you physically moving somewhere. If this is something you've had to go through, like where you had to pick up and leave a certain scenario, actually physically do that. But you are someone who has moved through these challenges, and this card tells me that you've made that transition beautifully. And not only have you learned a lot of lessons, but you have been able to keep those lessons with you and kind of like implement that into your general bank of knowledge and wisdom. I think this is why people come to you for advice, because you're able to learn from what has happened. You're able to kind of keep all of that and integrate it into your personality. You're able to draw upon this wisdom. So I love this because the Six of Swords shows you moving into calmer waters, and that's really beautiful. It shows that you've gained a lot of wisdom from all the challenges that you went through, and that you've learned from them. Like, you didn't just go through it for nothing. You learned an important lesson. And then we move over into your future self energy, and we have the High Priestess. So your future energy, I think this is so appropriate because we were just talking about the wisdom that you gain through the challenges that you face. And the Six of Swords and the High Priestess is sort of like, I feel like you moved into this High Priestess energy. And like, this is the energy of the keeper of like all of the knowledge, all of the secrets, all of the hidden gems and the wisdom. So it shows that you'll continue to learn and that you're going to continue to develop your intuition. I really see, especially in this card, if this is really a message of like your third eye opening. So really experiencing things on a deeper spiritual level here. Really moving to a beautiful place of connection. So now let's get your last oracle cards. These can be a little bit of advice, or they can just give us more insight here. I was going to take 2 cards, but you got 3, and you know how it goes. I can never turn down an opportunity to get a clearer message, so I went ahead and took them. So we have birthing a new age. This is birthing new creations, dreaming a world into being. Really powerful energy. We have awakening. Yeah, we were just talking about with this third eye. This is about your awakening. So yeah, you're definitely moving into a place of more spiritual connection. So this is about energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. And I feel like that integration message is really important because the Six of Swords to me is about integrating. It's about learning from what has happened and really integrating that into our experience and into our knowledge bank. And this is, finally, you have align your life. What is not aligned and needs to change? So really just asking yourself that question. I think some of what might need to change is just giving yourself a bit more credit. And we also talked about protecting your energy a little bit more as you kind of like help and advise people and feel out these energies whenever you're in a social situation. So it can be really important for you to align in this way. But this is really beautiful energy. There's a lot about you that people love and appreciate that I think you're not seeing. You're not giving yourself credit for it. There's like a real fierceness to you that you probably don't give yourself enough credit for. So yeah, I think I will leave it there. That's all the messages I see for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you liked this reading, if it resonated with you, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And I will hopefully see you again really soon in another reading. Bye. Hi, number 3, if you picked the pink pony, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out what qualities you do not see in yourself, what you're not recognizing about yourself. These are likely things that people around you notice and appreciate and love about you, but things that you don't give yourself enough credit for. Also, what's been coming through is a little bit of like areas where you could improve. So this might be like areas where you're getting in your own way and you don't see that. Maybe we will get some of that insight in your reading. We'll just see what comes out. So let's begin your reading with some animal spirit cards. These are going to tell us what areas of your personality you might not be seeing and what attributes you're not recognizing in yourself. So first you have the hawk. You have the bear. Whoa, I feel like these are really powerful animals, like majestic animals so far. And the tarantula. Ooh. I wouldn't say majestic about the tarantula, but the tarantula can really exude and like, what is the word I'm looking for? It can really pull an emotion out of people. Some people love spiders and huge spiders, and some people do not. So they're maybe not majesty because it's not well, I was gonna say it's not big, but you know, it's very big for a spider. So maybe you did get 3 majestic animals here. The thing I see about this like right off is that you are definitely a person with a mission here on earth. Like you are on a serious mission, and you likely also have a lot of psychic abilities that you might not be aware of. Now, I would think, well, no, not really with the bear. Like I was gonna say, I would think that you would be aware of these energies with like your psychic abilities with the energies that I'm seeing here. But at the same time, like we're looking at what you might not be aware of. And then the psychic ability message is coming through. So you might not be aware of how psychic you are. Maybe you have tapped into like one gift, but you actually have several gifts that you could explore. But there is kind of an energy of you. Yeah, I can see how maybe this is not fully developed in you, and maybe you have not realized the depth of the abilities that you have. The hawk really is a strong representation of clairvoyance. So clairvoyance is clear psychic seeing. I feel like in general, it's really hard for you to like to see yourself and to figure out how to put all of the gifts that you have together into one package, because it feels like you might be gifted in so many different areas that it's hard for you to figure out how to combine all of this. That might have been a little bit of a struggle for you because you're a big dreamer. You're the type of person that can look at the big picture dream gigantic dreams, but you're also the kind of person that can see every minute detail. And I think maybe sometimes you get lost in the weeds, you get lost in the detail. But what I'm seeing here is how powerfully you can manifest, and how this big picture seeing and maybe even this clairvoyance helps you to get clear on your goal, which of course is like a key part of manifestation. It's really hard for us to manifest something when we don't know what we're trying to manifest. So we have to first have clarity. And I think that you have a lot of clarity, and you have a lot of ability to have clarity, because you have this this bird's eye view, and you also have potentially clairvoyance. So you have a lot of ability there. I think that this is a gift to you, but I also think that it can come across sometimes as being a little bit overwhelming, and it can be confusing to figure out which direction you want to go in. If you think about something like it's really opposing energies. And what it's telling me is that you have a lot of gifts and you have a lot of abilities. When you think about how different a bird is from a bear, like a bird that can soar really high, that can fly, that can lift off of the earth, and then we go into something that's as solid and as dense and big and powerful as a bear, and then even from the bear to a tarantula, like these are very different energies. They all have their strengths, but they are I guess what I'm trying to say is imagine all of these wrapped up into one. It's kind of hard to imagine because they're not very similar at all. So I think that this could have been like a bit of a challenge for you. How do I be this thing and be that thing at the same time? How do I be even just this ability for you to focus on details and also see the big picture is like opposing, and it can be like you can get lost in the big picture dream sometime, and then you can think, oh, I should really pay more attention to the detail, and then you go into detail mode, and then you're like, nope, I gotta get a big picture view. I've gotta zoom out, and you maybe haven't learned yet how to recognize that these are both gifts that you have, and that you can kind of flow between these two gifts. You don't have to be one thing or the other all the time. You don't have to play one role or the other all the time. So that could just be an important message for some of you. I feel like there's definitely a spiritual awakening here that's being highlighted. So this might be something that you've already stepped into. If you haven't stepped into it yet, I feel like it's something that you've been on the verge of for a long time, but it might have been something that was difficult for you to find your way through, because sorting all of this out has been difficult for you. And like, you're seeking out information, you're seeking out knowledge, and it's just like, it's hard sometimes. It's hard to make it all make sense, or it's hard to try to implement things. I think sometimes you find yourself in this bear energy of like wanting to hibernate and wanting to put the whole thing on hold because you don't really know like which direction to go in. And this could be past energy for some of you, but I feel like it's not for most of you, because this is all about these like really, really special gifts that you have. And it seems like you're not recognizing them. Or that you're not utilizing them, like you're not seeing how gifted you are. Yeah, there's just a lot of energy of it. Like the tarantula can really be about feeling like you're at a crossroads. And it also talks about stepping into and like claiming your life's purpose. So I feel like you are the type of people who feel like you have a real purpose here on this earth. Like you have something really important to do and to achieve. But like figuring out what that is and how you are supposed to go about it is a daunting task. And it feels almost like you've been at this place where like you have to make a decision one way or the other. Or maybe you want to go with the practical thing because it makes more sense, but you feel this other like pull towards something else. So yeah, it kind of... I think what can be challenging is that you're very intellectual and you're very smart with this hawk energy, and you're also very aware. Um, and then on the flip side, you've got this really intuitive and even psychic gifting and ability. So those two things can be a little bit hard to reconcile because they seem like complete opposite ends of the spectrum. It's really easy for us to reason our way out of following our intuition because it's so abstract. It's hard to have like exact scientific data on an intuitive feeling that we have. So I think that for a lot of you, you can kind of have the urge to ignore what can't be proven because you cannot say for sure 100% this is what it is. And there's that side of you that wants to, or that side of you that thinks other people will want you to really explain yourself, really prove all of this. And you don't necessarily have the proof. You have your intuition, which is proof enough. You're a really curious person and you like to learn stuff. I'm also getting like, I mean, we've got air energy here, we've got earth energy, we've got fire energy. So we're all across the board here. This does suggest a lot of balance. I think this happened in the second reading. Like there's a lot of balance here. And I think that this means that you are gifted in so many areas that you're not giving yourself credit for, because in this particular reading, it just feels like you're not recognizing like the way that you can communicate ideas, the way that you can feel your way through things, your intuitive nature, and maybe even this psychic ability, clairvoyance specifically. You might not be realizing that. But yeah, you're really curious and you really like to learn new things and you find new ways of doing things. So I don't think you realize that in yourself, that you come up with brand new ways of doing stuff that no one would have ever thought of. It seems like you might feel like, well, anyone would have come to this conclusion or anyone would have come up with that, but it's not true. And probably if you ask the people closest to you, or maybe sometimes they just tell you like, whoa, I never would have come up with that. I never would have thought of that idea. I never would have solved that problem in that way. You're inventive in that way. You have the ability, really, again, to see the big picture, and that's what's helpful when it comes to inventing new ways of accomplishing things or new ways of viewing things, because you can see kind of like the outcome. I feel like you're a person who, like, independence is super important to you. The hawk and the bear both really exude that independent energy. And I think you're a person who really likes to be self-sufficient, and you like to kind of have all of the answers. And no, it's not about being a know-it-all. I don't mean it that way. When I say have all the answers, I'm just like, you like to know where you're going. You like to know the way. And I think in a lot of ways you actually do really well on your own. So you might work independently really well. I think the most important thing that it seems like you're not seeing about yourself is that you have a very strong spiritual connection to divinity, and you actually receive a lot of messages and a lot of guidance through this connection, and you might not realize how much of just some of these things that you just feel or you just know, how much that's your direct connection with divinity. And you might not actually realize how much you can trust and depend on that either. So that is something to keep in mind. Let's look at your tarot cards and see what other insights we can get. So you first have the 10 of Coins. Then we have the King of Wands in reverse. And the 5 of Coins in reverse. A lot of earth energy coming through in the tarot. Kind of bringing me back to that bear energy, especially with the 10 of Coins. For some reason, that was really kind of mirroring the bear energy. So this can talk a lot about material abundance. The tarantula is always a sign of manifestation to me, kind of representing the number 8. The number 8 being a sign of manifestation, really kind of like because if you lay an 8 on its side, it's really the infinity sign, and it's really about like infinite possibilities and how we have the ability to create so much. So this is really an indication of your ability to create material abundance in the world. You have the ability to step into this place of being a really powerful manifester. I feel like a lot of this has to do with spirituality and manifestation and kind of bringing all of your skills into one. And this is a lot of what you're not seeing. It's like you're not seeing how powerful you are in these ways. You're not seeing what a great manifester you are, or how your unique view is so crucial and so important, and it really helps you create brand new things. This 10 of coins is really about having everything that you need, especially in terms of material abundance or financial security. And really, when we look at the 10, this is about some form of completion. So I think that that's really indicating that you've reached some level of achievement when it comes to tapping into these skills or abilities. And you may have already created a way to bring a lot of financial abundance into your life. And if you have like created something really successful that you built from the ground up, or something that's unexpected, maybe you make money in an unconventional way, this is something that other people really admire in you, and you don't really see it in yourself. You don't realize how creative and how inventive you are. And like, I want to say, like, I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. It's like you really think outside of the box, and you're willing to do things that other people wouldn't do. And it gets you a lot of success. It gets you really far. Even if you haven't fully realized all of that yet, it's like your ability to do that is what's going to pay off. I think this really does have a lot to do with your ability to manifest and your ability to dream big, and then to bring that dream into reality. The King of Wands showing up in reverse shows how sometimes that big picture view can kind of get in your way. So I think sometimes you have such big dreams that you can really see everything from that bird's eye view, to the point that it can become a little bit overwhelming to you. So there's a lot, to do, and there's a lot to accomplish when you can see the bigger picture like that. But I think that sometimes you can feel kind of paralyzed because it might not be clear what the next step is, because the vision is really big. Sometimes it's so big that you can't really see where you're trying to go. So this might be even something that you haven't recognized, like why things can feel overwhelming to you. Sometimes it can be because you're looking at the whole thing at once. So it's kind of an indication to use your ability to see all those little details and like kind of map out a way for you to move forward and reach those bigger goals. And then like zoom back in and set a lot of small attainable goals that feel achievable to you. Like that's a really good idea for you. Just making sure that there are goals that need to be met in order for the larger big picture goal to be met at the end. So just make sure they're in line with the big picture vision, and then, just stay focused on those smaller tasks. I think taking that approach is going to help you to step into this like passionate place that I think you really want to be. It's going to help you get to a place where you can express and experience more of what you want to be living out. Looking at this Five of Pentacles that also came out in reverse, this is actually talking about the end of a difficult cycle in your life. So many of these struggles that you're facing are coming to an end. This particularly talks about the end of financial difficulty. On the opposite end, we have the 10 of coins here. So this really does show me that you're moving out of any kind of financial concern, and this doesn't have to be financial. It's just anything in the material world that's really concerning you. It can be about achievement, it can be about your health, it can be about your ability to manifest, but this is a clear indication that you are moving out of this energy, coming through with the 10 of coins and then also the 5 of coins in reverse. I think you have the ability to create a lot of wealth, and this is something you might not realize about yourself. Financial abundance it's like a natural gifting that you have, this ability to manifest. And you know, the beautiful thing is you're the type of person that will share this wealth and abundance with anyone who's close to you. You might even be the type of person that wants to donate like sums of money or your time to causes that are really close to your heart. So you're a very generous person, and when you get this manifestation thing under control, you're going to be able to bless so many people, whether that's with actual like your time and energy, or if it has something to do with financial abundance. But I think that this is a place, an area where you could very well feel like you don't have the ability to create success here, and you absolutely do. Overall, it looks to me like you're moving into a place of more abundance in your life in every area. And some of these natural gifts and abilities that you have are really going to be instrumental in getting you there. So yeah, I see a lot here. I see a lot of psychic connection here, and I see a lot of ability to create like a very beautiful, grounded life. And what that tells me is you're somebody who's going to experience a lot of spiritual beauty, and you're going to experience a lot of earthly beauty too, and you might not even realize how capable you are when it comes to achieving that balance and kind of reconciling those different energies. So let's take a look at your tarot cards. I have one card to represent the past you, so we're going to see like where you're coming from, and then another card to represent the future you, where you are going. So past you, we have strength. Oh, there's that there's that infinity symbol that we were talking about with the number 8 and the tarantula. So kind of a confirmation there of this ability to manifest. And for the future, we have the Knight of Cups. You're really coming from a place of a lot of inner strength. It's kind of making me like think a lot about this bear energy. You've been working on developing your personal power, and I see a strong, persistent energy coming through with this. I think for a lot of you, because you felt on the verge of some kind of awakening for a while, and it's actually taken a lot of inner will and a lot of inner strength to kind of stay on this road, to keep searching for the answers that you've been seeking, because it can be confusing sometimes, and it can be a situation where you don't really know what direction to go in, or if you should let go of the entire thing. But you definitely have a strength about you that keeps you keeps you on this path. What you're moving into your future self is this Knight of Cups energy. I love the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a sweetheart. The Knight of Cups moves thoughtfully through the world. It represents a person who's really in touch with their intuition, and someone who's really connected to their emotions. So I think you are going to be moving into this place where you can depend on and trust your intuition a lot more. This is about these abilities in you developing, and maybe even you getting in touch with your psychic abilities a lot more. And this is also about bringing a sense of creativity to the situation here, and finding the beauty in the world all around you. The Knight of Cups is like very poetic and very romantic, and really, I feel like the Knight of Cups enjoys life and really relishes in all of the little things. And this is just you moving into a place of more appreciation and also a lot more abundance. Let's look at your last two cards, and then we'll wrap up the reading. So we have Answer the Call. What is your soul calling you to do? Yeah, I think your soul is kind of knocking on the door with a lot of information about some of your psychic abilities, about your spiritual connection, about deepening all of that, and just kind of waiting for you to answer the call a little bit. And we have Lumeria. Okay, this is perfect. Creating heaven on earth, it's happening. So I love this card because it really talks about following that intuition, really tuning in and tapping in. If this is something that you really you haven't known about and you haven't had any indication about, then it's really important that you are seeing this this reading, because I feel like it's going to set you off maybe just pique your curiosity a little bit, and just make you pursue this, because I'm really feeling from your guides that this is something that you long for, this deeper spiritual connection. And what I love about this card, creating heaven on earth, it's happening. What I love about that is the hawk is all about bringing messages from the heavens. Like the hawk brings messages from the heavens down to earth. So this is giving me kind of that same energy, creating heaven on earth. You are a messenger of some sort. You are very likely a starseed. You're someone who has been placed on this earth for a very particular reason, and there's a lot that you have to convey and to communicate. And I think that you don't see this in yourself. Like you don't know if you can trust yourself to do this big job and to have this message. And the job doesn't have to be big. This is you really just being in this state, in your true state, in your true essence, in everything that you do. Like you can accomplish this by being a doctor, by being a cook, by being, whatever it is you do in the world, you're going to end up spreading this message. You can't help it. And I think you just don't recognize how valuable you are here, and how much you're needed, and how much your message is needed, and how much you have to communicate and share with the world. So yeah, with that being said, I think I'm going to wrap up this reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for letting me read your cards. If you liked this reading, if it resonated with you, don't forget to like the video, comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye! Hi, number 4, if you picked the blue pony, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out what parts of yourself, what parts of your personality or different attributes that you possess do you not see in yourself? What do you not give yourself enough credit for? These could be things that people around you notice all the time, but you don't see in yourself. And also what's been coming through in the readings is actually some areas where you could improve that you might not see or recognize. So in that way, I think these messages have been kind of helpful, I hope, because I think that a lot of good messages came through. Spirit was able to bring through a lot of valuable information. So let's start your reading with some animal spirit cards, and we're just going to use these to help us see some areas of your personality that might have some qualities that you're not recognizing in yourself. So let's see, we have the firefly, the mouse, and the beaver. Okay. I love that firefly card. It's like one of my favorite cards in the deck. Right off the bat, I can see that you really don't give yourself enough credit in general. So at this point, I don't even know if this reading is going to be about a particular thing that you don't see in yourself, or if it's just this idea of like you don't give yourself enough credit for anything that you do. I think you tend to see yourself as somebody who is maybe just starting out, someone who's like in the beginning stages of something, someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, or maybe sometimes you can see yourself as being small, or you can worry that your contributions might not be significant. But what you're not seeing is what a force you truly are. For some of you, you might actually physically be small. Like you might just have a very small frame or be kind of short. Of course, that's not going to resonate with everyone, but for some of you, your size, I'm hearing that some of you have a nickname about your size. Like, like somebody calls you shorty or calls you tiny or something like that. I think it's a term of endearment, so it's not meant to be an insult, but that, yeah, some of you might be actually physically small. And it's like in some ways, because you are small, or because sometimes you feel insignificant, it's like you've played this role. Even if you're not actually physically small, you can fall into the trap of like playing this role and playing very small. And you're not giving yourself enough credit for everything that you have to offer. I think sometimes you hesitate to share what you have to offer, or you feel really timid. What I have to say here, and like what your guides are screaming, is like you're doing the world a disservice when you don't let people hear your voice or gain perspective from your point of view. Whatever it is that you might want to share, and even if it doesn't feel like it's anything very significant or anything very important, you have a unique view that is important, like that could really help somebody, and you're actually doing the world a disservice when you don't share it. So I think that sometimes we can think of, like, it can feel really egotistical to feel like, to think, oh, I have something so important that I need to share with people. That can feel really lofty sometimes and grand, and we're like, oh, who am I to say that? But the truth is that you really are doing everyone around you an injustice when you don't share what you know, when you don't share how you see things, when you don't share what you have to offer. So it's just something to keep in mind. Look at this. Look at this firefly. This is why I love this card. This firefly, look how much powerful light is coming off of this little guy. Like, this is really an indication that your light shines so bright. If this much light can come off of something this small, it's really powerful light. And it doesn't even make any difference how small that firefly is. It's still emanating a really beautiful, a very strong, and a very powerful light. Your light really is shining bright, and you have so much insight, and you have so much creativity, and so many great ideas that it feels like sometimes you hesitate to share all of that. It's said that the firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. I feel like that is something to keep in mind here. How much power is that? How much glow is that? How much shine is that? The light of 1,000 stars. So I think it's really important for you to act on any bursts of inspiration that you feel, because these are divinely guided bursts. They are good enough. Like, I almost feel like we're in an argument. I feel like we're in an argument right now, and I don't want to fight with you, number 4. I don't want to fight with you, but I feel like you're sitting across the table from me, and I'm like, they are good enough. Like, whatever it is that you're thinking, like, that thing you wrote, that is good enough. That is really good. People would love to read that. The painting that you painted, it's beautiful. It is good enough. It deserves to be hanging in a museum next to like some famous piece of art. It is good enough. The idea that you had, it's good enough. Share it. You know, like, raise your hand in class and share it. Maybe you're not in class, but I'm just using different examples because I feel almost like we could go to battle over this. Like, you might really have this idea or this this feeling, this inspiration that like you want to start something, you want to do something, but you're always playing small and not believing in yourself, and you're thinking that your voice isn't going to be heard over the thousands, the millions of other voices, but your voice will be heard over all of that because you have something valuable to offer. I feel like sometimes it's almost like you're asking, like, who am I to share this or to express this or to put this out in the world? And a message, like, a message is coming through. This is a message for you to challenge that way of thinking and for you to start to see your inherent worth and your value and to really claim your space. I feel like some of you think like there's not room for you in a particular scenario. Like maybe you've always felt like you don't fit in, or maybe you feel like your work isn't good enough and like it doesn't stack up, or like you need to get better at something before you can let anyone see what you're doing. Maybe you think you need to like practice more, or you need to get a certain tool or a certain program on your computer so that you can be better than or as good as everyone else. And it's like, but you already have so much to offer, and you can work with what you have. You can work with your natural abilities. For some of you, I feel like you've had this this desire to like put yourself out there in some way. So I'm seeing the image of like social media, but it doesn't have to be this. But let's just use the example. If you wanted to create a platform or something, like you wanted to share photos that you took online, or you want to like make YouTube videos, for instance, and you think like there's already so many people doing it. Like there's already so many people in that space. What could I possibly contribute? I don't know anything. I'm not good at this. Whatever those objections in your mind might be, it's like, this is really an indication that's like, start seeing how great you are. Start seeing how much you have to contribute, and how certain people might resonate with your message, with the way you say things, with the way you took that picture, with, just any little choice that you make. Maybe you make a creative decision in terms of the lighting of a photograph and it really touches somebody. So don't ever think that you don't have anything to offer, that what you're doing isn't good enough, because it is good enough. And if you want to argue about it, you can call me up and we can argue all day, because I just feel like, yes, it is. Yes, it is good enough. Yes, your light is bright enough. And this might not even be something that you doubt all the time, but just any time that you're doubting that, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I can see how, how creative you are and how inventive you are, and how much you have to offer. So you have to be kidding when you say that you don't have anything to provide or to offer. That's a joke. This can also extend to personal relationships. So sometimes you might like think that you're not good enough, like that you won't catch someone's attention, that someone won't be attracted to you or whatever. And it's like, again, are you joking? Like, people are so drawn to you. Like you're this firefly. Everyone looks at the firefly. Everyone looks at the firefly. Like, it's just about like getting real about this, like coming to terms with it. I know that you're a very humble person, but you've got to start recognizing your gifts. You've got to start recognizing what you have to offer. It's so much better than you realize. Like, I just can't even, it's just so much better than you realize, and people really will benefit from it. So, I feel like this could be literally any little thing that you want to do. So just keep that in mind. Like, you might want to crochet hats for babies. That's so random. You might want to crochet hats for babies. And maybe you think like you go online and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many hats for babies already. Like people are already making hats for babies. But no, they're not making the hats you're making. Like they didn't choose those colors and they didn't make them the same way you did. And whatever the case may be, like there is space for you. There is room for you. There's really a highly creative energy coming through with the firefly, and a lot of passion with the fire energy that is like coming off of this card. And really we don't have any fire energy here, but there's like so much passion. We have air, we have earth, we have water. The firefly just, it can't not be both air and fire to me. Like it just really represents that. It represents a lot of passion. There's a really down to earth and humble quality about you, like with the mouse and with the beaver. So you also have a way of like harnessing a lot of different states, and that's why you can make people feel on such a deep level. And this is why you have to offer whatever it is you want to offer, because you really will make people feel on a deep level. I think you have the incredible ability to stay really focused too with this mouse energy. Whatever you're involved in, like whatever you feel really passionate about, you have this ability to pinpoint that energy and to like stay laser focused in a really powerful way. So I think it makes you very, very productive when you're passionate about it. I'm really feeling called to say that, because I think that when you are in a space that doesn't really light you up and that doesn't ignite that passion in you, that you can feel like your energy drifts and like your attention and your focus drifts, and you're just like, ugh, I don't want to do this anymore. But when it's something that you're passionate about, you can go on and on and on for days and hours and weeks. And it's like tapping into that energy is really important to you. There's an energy here that's like, there's so much that you can do, but there's also a lot of fear surrounding it as well. The thing is that you're just such a loving person, and I feel like you're the first person to celebrate the uniqueness in other people and to appreciate everybody's individual talents and strengths and what they can contribute to a situation. But I just wish that you could do that for yourself a little bit more, because it's like you're so humble and you're so down to earth that you won't give yourself the credit, and you won't give yourself the same love and appreciation that you show to other people. And you're missing the part where you're like extremely talented. You're just missing the fact that no one can do what you can do the way you can do it, and that there really is space for you. If you could turn that loving energy that you extend to others towards yourself, I feel like you would just have so much confidence, and you would see yourself as the beautiful creator that you are. And this is really about you coming out of the shadows and letting that light shine. All of these cards are kind of like cards of darkness, especially the firefly and the mouse, because these are creatures that you would see at night. Even this beaver card is really, really, really dark, and I feel like this is about you emerging from that and letting people see you, like letting people see what you have to offer and what you can contribute. I can also tell that you're a really hard worker, so chances are you will work really hard to make sure that whatever you're doing is up to par. You don't ever have to worry about that, because you're not like the type of person that cuts corners. There's no reason for you to doubt yourself, because you're naturally gifted, and then you're also willing to put in the work. So there's really no reason for you to ever doubt yourself. Let's look at your tarot cards. We have the 10 of Wands. So yeah, I really want you to move out of that 10 of Wands energy. I want to give you such a hug. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse. And the Queen of Coins in reverse. Two queens, both in reverse. This 10 of Wands shows that you take on a lot of burdens and you take on a lot of stress. And this can be like stress from other people. So I think that you have a tendency to put others first all the time, and to always make sure that everyone around you is well taken care of. It can sometimes leave you feeling weighed down and burdened, and like you weren't receiving the care that you need. This is about you creating time and space for you to nurture yourself and to nurture some of the things that make your soul really glow, like this firefly here. It's about you letting yourself sort of it's about you letting yourself kind of build up, like build yourself up the same way that you would build someone else up. And that's a really beautiful part of you. So I'm not even suggesting that you stop doing that. Like you're very encouraging, and you can really see people for who they really are. And there's a loving energy that kind of flows from you. But it's just that some more of that energy should be directed at yourself and should be directed at your achievements, your accomplishments, and everything that you can do and offer. Then you had two queens show up in reverse. The Queen of Swords, the Queen of Coins. First of all, I just want to say that there's definitely a message here that you are a queen. Like, these queens wouldn't have come out if you weren't exuding queen energy, and you don't have to be a female to exude that queen energy. Queen energy is really mature. It's very developed. It shows that you have achieved some level of like mastery over things, that you are really viewed as someone who's in power, who's in control. But both of them are coming in reverse. So it's like, I think a lot of this message is that you just don't see yourself that way. You're not expressing everything that you should be expressing in all the ways that you would like to. And I think the Queen of Coins in reverse, it can really talk about this self-nurturing energy and not being fulfilled in that way. So this is really a message to nurture yourself a little bit more. So again, this is about recognizing your strengths, recognizing your beauty, and really nurturing yourself and allowing all of that to grow. Like we were talking about the expression part of it. Like, there's something that you want to express, something you're so good at, but you're not seeing yourself that way. So the energy feels a little bit blocked to me. This is about you reaching a point where you look in the mirror and you see that queen. Like, you see that boss, you see that person that has so much to give, so much to offer, that is deserving of the attention and of the space, because that's what everyone else sees when they look at you. Honestly, that's what they see. So let's look at your next tarot cards. These are I have one card here to represent your past self, so we'll see kind of where you're coming from, and then another to represent your future self. So for your past self, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. Let's get your other card. For your future self, we have, ooh, the King of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, you're going to make so much progress. I feel like you're making leaps and bounds. So this Page of Cups in reverse can be a little bit of like held back emotional energy. It can be held back energy when it comes to our creativity and to our creative expression. So I think this is where you are coming from when it comes to that level of belief. It could also indicate that it's really hard for you to let people get close to you, and then it's hard for you to accept love from others. I feel like you're really willing to pour love out to everyone around you, but when it comes to accepting that love and being really cared for by other people, it's like it can be challenging, or you always want to make sure that everyone else is well taken care of and is experiencing that nourishment and that love before you fill your own cup. So this is definitely like the energy that you're moving out of. You're such a nurturer, like you're such a sweetheart. You always want to take care of people. You're such a sweetheart. So then when we look at your future energy, you went to the King of Pentacles, which I love because this is right next to the Queen of Coins, which is the Queen of Pentacles. So this Queen was coming up in reverse, and then you're stepping into the King energy. So it's almost like you kind of leveled up from there. I don't really view the King higher than the Queen because I kind of see them as counterparts, but you could view it as like stepping into a stronger level of mastery. So it feels like you go from this place of doubting yourself to being super confident. And I love that came out right after the Queen of Coins. That's beautiful. This is the direction that you really need to be moving in. So I'm happy to see this. This shows that you believe in yourself and that you have a lot of confidence in what you have to offer. So you're definitely going to move into that place of confidence and probably step out of your comfort zone in order to do that, because I do think that there is a little bit of comfort in this protection and you're going to be stepping out of that place. Let's look at your last 2 oracle cards. These could be a bit of advice or just give us more insight. I left this part pretty open. So let's see. Oh yeah, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. That is so appropriate. And then we have the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. That is essentially the same message. You're already doing it and you've been training for this for lifetime. So it's like I feel like I don't even need to say anything else, because it's like you have this ability in you. You have this gifting in you. There is no reason for you to doubt this. And this is just encouragement that like you do this everywhere you go. Like whatever it is that you have to offer, you're doing it all the time. You do it effortlessly. So there's no reason to doubt it. And probably why you're so good at what you're good at and you're so gifted is because this is about past life stuff. Some of this could be like you've just been so naturally good at this forever and you don't really know why. I do think you've put in a lot of work, but I think you have a natural gifting toward some form of expression. And it's just about letting it out. So yes, this is so exciting. I'm really, I'm excited for you to move into the King of Pentacles energy, for you to believe in yourself and just start putting something out there. Like start getting out of your comfort zone, whatever that might be. It could be you want to apply to a school that you don't feel confident that you'll get into. You want to try to get a job that you don't feel confident about. You want to start some kind of business or start social media and you don't feel confident. Whatever it is, just start. Because you're already doing it and you're already so capable of doing this thing. So just begin and just see where it goes. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you liked this reading, if you resonated with any of these messages, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like doing it. And I will hopefully see you again in another reading really soon. Bye.